Hey everyone, the season of mere work begins. This is Conversations with Lady O. It's been a while, it's been a minute, and also been very much watching everything that's been happening. So much has been happening quickly in regards to the political debates, the English debates. I did a live on Emma Answer Unfiltered. And then there was a Rebel News issue in regards to why the Scrum part of the English debate was canceled. They say for security reasons. Then they were blaming Rebel News. And then we saw the real live situation. And it was not Rebel News' fault. It's so much has been happening. This video right now is going to be about why because today was the first day of, no, not today, it was yesterday. Today is now the 19th. So yesterday was the first day of advanced polls, and I went first thing, and I put the X next to the Conservatives. Because, again, I was always going to be voting for them because I was not one of those Canadians who is hoodwinked and gaslit because of Mark Carney's quote-unquote impressive CVs. I know no matter how impressive a CV is on paper, you always back it up with reference. And the references are first-hand accounts from the Prime Minister of UK that spoke about the destruction that Carney's advice did. So that CV there. Then the other CV in regards to his time being a financial advisor, Justin Trudeau. We've seen how the economy has tanked. And then Pierre Poilievre ended the English debate, and I saw a crack. Many people are talking about it, but right away, I made a comment. It was on Global TV live coverage because CBC turns off comments, and it was also live on Global TV. And I made a comment right there in the chat. And I said, did you guys see what just happened? Pierre cracked. We saw how this man is passionate about Canadians. People say he's aggressive, but this is not aggression. This is a man who's losing sleep over the quality of life of Canadians. He cracked in that moment. You saw the emotion, and you were like, I'm like, oh. In that part of the speech, when he closed it, I'm happy everybody else also saw it. Not my comment, but they saw that little window into who Pierre Poilievre is. And I said this man has invested his life in politics. It is an investment to serve his country, no different than anybody invested years in the military. We don't say they're career military personnel and we're not going to respect their opinion as a sergeant or a staff sergeant. We actually look at their tenure as legitimate. Same thing if it's a teacher. We don't say, oh, you know what? Oh, you're a career teacher. You know, you need to get out of here. Oh, you're a career academic. Oh, you're a career doctor. Oh, how long you been a doctor for? Oh my gosh, for 10, 20, 30 years? Ugh, I don't want to listen to your advice. So I'm not too sure how now we allow Mark Carney and the Liberal Party to now make the fact that he has been in this position, worked his way up like every one of us have said we should in a merit-based system. And we are very much proud of our sons and daughters who work their way up in any company. You're CEO of a company that we don't say, oh, look at you, you're a CEO because you worked your way up and you've been in this company for how many years? Oh, shame on you. We don't say that to any man or any woman who entered into a field that they found that this is their passion and they've dedicated their life in. And I said that there, and I said this is one of the many reasons why I respect Pierre Poilievre and his consistency and everything he said since then. It's not like the flip-floppers you see in these political spheres. He's been very consistent. And even his paper that he wrote, if I think it was like 16, 20 years ago, he did that paper, and the young man has not faltered. This is not a game for Polivier. Not like Mark Carney and the Liberal Party. This has all been a game. Jagmeet Singh, it's been a game. Staying and propping up the Liberal Party so in enough time that he can qualify his pension. He sank the NDP. He sold them out. He didn't care about the party. He didn't care about Canadians. Same with Justin Trudeau. Mark Carney coming in. What are you talking about? So it's all about, we need to taking the wind out of his sail. Sorry. What was his sail? His sail, that it was the momentum of the Canadian people. So him suspending the carbon tax and capital gains, he's like, it was divisive. Yeah. So again, even in his wording, he did not suspend the consumer part because of the best interest of Canadians. The man told you over and over. Carney said, I suspended it because it was a divisive issue. He didn't say I suspended it because it's a bad policy. So the man is telling you, I'm only doing it because it's a divisive issue, and we need to take the wind out of Polivier's sails. So we need to find the things that got him momentum, and we need to it's all a game to them. Our lives has been a game to them. Chrystia Freeland did her speech over 10 years telling you about the game of the hollowing out of the Americas. Again, I will post that link to her full lecture in the description. Our lives is a game to them. Not Polivier. This has never been a game to this young man. He loves this country. He dedicated his life to serve this country in the arena of politics. Just like somebody dedicate their life to serve in the arena of being law enforcement, and they put on their uniform, they go out there and we say, thank you for your service. I'm sorry. Just like any young man, any young woman enlisting themselves in the military, medicine, the academics, but even coming down to the man or the woman who's dedicating their lives into waste management, and they're getting up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Transportation workers who are doing shift work, who's doing compressed shifts, and they're getting up when you're sleeping to make this economy move, to make the city that we live in, and we take so many things for granted, they make it move. They're dedicating their life. They're dedicating Since when do we talk down at that and we scoff at that? Polivier found his lane, found his passion in a way that he could give back to his country the life that he has, and he saw the erosion of it even way back then. He aligned himself with a political party that he said, okay, this is the one that mirrors my values. And he worked his way up. And then the young man ended his speech. And it was the crack. I believe he also was like, he's trying to like hold it in. Because I believe there's a part of Polivier that again, in this arena of listening to advisors, not showing vulnerability and making people understand that his passion and his aggression is passion. I'm also on the other side of that as well. I get that many times where people hear my voice and my passion. They're like, oh, she's angry, she's yelling. And I'm pissed off because of the erosion of the quality of life, especially because my heart and my passion has always been for the youth. This is why my passion and my aggression against Doug Ford during the lockdowns, and he held that against me. You can hold all that against me, Doug. I don't give a rat's behind. And I'm very grateful to hear that Carolyn Mulroney did not listen to you and she endorsed Carney. Unlike all the other MPs that just go along with Doug, because Doug wants people who are loyal to him. He wants people to worship him. He wants people to kiss his pinky ring. He doesn't want people who are loyal to their integrities and their principles. And this is why he endorsed Carney. Birds of a feather really do flock together. Polivier cracked and showed us. And many of you, it might have went over your head, but I think more of you are more aware of it now because many people are copying that particular and snipping that particular part and talking about it. This man loves his country. This man is losing sleep over the quality of life of Canadians. Mark Carney is flying in and he could parachute out. The man has 3 citizenships. If this don't work out, he can bounce and go somewhere else and do something else. Mark Carney is not losing sleep over you liberals who are so nostalgic and holding on to a brand that's not holding on to you. They've let you go. They've destroyed your pension, and most of the people that are still loyal to liberals are those who are well off. Your house is paid off. You're good, and you're not in the live life realities. And for those who are impressed with Carney's CV, you yourself don't hire anybody just because of a CV. All you business people that are talking about it, you don't hire people because you wouldn't. Stop lying. You look at references. And if you listen and you get the reference from the horse's mouth, from the people that he apparently gave advice to, you would have heard that the man destroyed everything Mark Carney has touched, has not been successful. And this is why many believe he's not running here, because his climate change initiative and the company and the alliance that he had created, everybody's jumped ship. All of the big companies that was along with his narrative, they're all jumping ship. So this is now something for him to be like, oh my gosh, I need to save my face. And many of you are attacking information because of the source. Oh, I don't like Rebel News, I'm not listening to them. Oh, I don't like Jordan Peterson, I'm not listening to them. I don't like these content creators. So the truth is right in front of your face being presented to you, but you're more concerned about who's bringing it instead of listening to what is being brought to you. And in the lies that the liberals bringing to you, you're eating it up, you're swallowing it, you're digesting it. So I truly hope, I really hope that even the liberals watching that, even if you're a rah, if you did not see on that platform, that English debate, which leader truly loves this country, who's stayed in this country, sacrificed for this country, dedicated their life to this country, and you want to elect someone who didn't even, the man just came back. The man has been on, he has not been affected by the decisions of his own advice. He has not lost sleep over the Canadians who've been suffered and who have suffered because of his advice. He moves his company to the U.S. and then people goes, oh, you got to do what the shareholders want. Again, so you have a Canadian who moved their business because, again, shareholders. Notice this man does things not because of the best interests of Canadians. It's about business. And even his business decisions are never really about Canadians. So he needs to just stay in the private world. This is my problem. You want to be business, you want to be ruthless, you want to make all those lack of integrity decisions, and you want to have your company, in the Cayman Islands to avoid taxes. You want to send your company down to New York because it's a business strategic move, and the shareholders are more important than your principals. Fine, stay in the private sector. My problem is now you're coming into the public and now you want to govern my life. He needs to stay in the private sector. Thank you very much. Stay there. That is your lane, Mark Carney, because you are heartless. You do not care about the ramifications of your advice to the little people. Your concern If you look at the man's CV and the results of his CV, it's always in the best interest of his shareholders and the best interest of his investors. And when he was giving advice privately to political entities, he gave advice so that his company could invest in the same advice he's given. This man is a double dipper, and he doesn't care about the quality of life or the impact that it has to the quote unquote middle class. He gives advice when he was in the private sector to governments, to policies, and then he has the brains to then invest in the policies that he knows is now going to roll out to the benefit of what? His shareholders. At the end of the day, his pocket. He is those CEOs that makes decisions, not caring about the people that it's going to affect. It's all about the shareholders. He is that type of CEO. He's that type of leader. And now you're bringing him over into the public sphere to make decisions that's going to benefit China, make decisions that Brookfield is going to be more beneficial and not Canadians. Listen, so let's play what everybody's talking about. And this is Polivier showing you his heart.
A rule that at all my rallies, even when they're really big, I would stand in front of a flag and greet every single person and hear their stories and learn their struggles. And that was always touching to me, that they would put their faith in me or in any of us.
Yep.
But we've been in such a rush because we have to get off to the next event, so we haven't been able to stop and do that. And I want you to know out there, I haven't forgot about you. Thank you.
That is what we all saw. Majority of us saw that. And that is what everybody is now doing their comments. That right there, if you look at the closing statement of everybody else, was just is a game to these people. Even Jagmeet's face, like every one of them, it's like they're like, dang. He's for real. Polivier is the real deal. Jagmeet, it's a game. Carney, it's a game. Blanchette, he's just about Quebec. And as I tell you, I respect him. I respect his game. He tells you, I'm not here to be prime minister for Canada. I'm just here to look out for Quebec. And this is why I say I respect people like Blanchette and even Trump. They tell you what they tell you. They're not lying. They're not hiding. So, see, this is why people would see Polivier, Trump, Blanchette very like odd, because you've been so used to people lying to you and playing games with you, where that becomes your normal. You actually look for people who lie to you because you're comfortable with that type of energy and those type of leadership. I'm telling you, Polivier, that moment right there, that was it. That was it. My comment is still at the top. That was my comment. Yep. That was my comment. As soon as it happened, I was like, what? I was like, what? My gosh. And this guy, I remember when I was watching it, he's like, talks about global news keeping their comments on because CBC doesn't. But yeah, not a game for, and to me, that's the type of leadership that you want. Someone that truly cares, someone who's been consistent, and everything that Carney is running on is Polivier's platform. He's copied it, he's plagiarized it, and called it his own. Jagmeet is Jagmeet. He's been selling out from day one. But I'm just appalled. And I'm really hoping that the numbers that we saw in regards to the polls are not true. I'm really hoping it's like a rinse and repeat of what they try to do with Donald Trump and Kamala, where they're telling you the numbers are this, look at the numbers, look at Kamala, she's in front of Trump in some states and she's neck to neck and this is close, and then he just like wiped her out, and even that's when people just wow, mainstream media is for real, because even their own people were ticked off and they're like, I'm sorry. How could you guys have been so wrong? Even their own people were like, wow. Because their journalists were trying to sell this to the people and there's nothing they could do. That's why they were all shocked. Because even them was reporting neck to neck, neck to neck. So I'm really hoping it's a rinse and repeat. And I really hope the Canadian people have not been gullible enough to, one, believe Carney parachuted in for the best interest of Canada. Although the man tells you that he paused the consumer carbon because it's been divisive, not because it was a bad policy. He did it because it was divisive. Capital gains, again, everything he's doing is to, as they say, take the wind out of Pierre's sail. It's a game. It's a tactic. It has nothing to do with a heart-invested decision. It's a game. Pierre has been saying these things that they're running on now forever. So I don't want a plagiarist prime minister. I don't want someone to copy somebody else's work, because that tells me you can't implement it because it wasn't yours. And don't ask the conservatives to now share you their notes and share you their... Nope, I'm sorry. You said this was your policy, so let's see how you're going to roll it out. I really hope Canadians are not going to risk this, because this is a huge gamble. But it's not a gamble. I know exactly what's going to happen if Canadians really have bought hook, line, and sinker. The Mark Carney is the new face of the centrist liberal party, and he's bringing in, and no, I'm sorry. This was all calculated. It was all a move. It's all a game. They're playing chess. They're trying to. This has nothing to do with the hard invested interests of the people. So I really hope that even here in my riding of Scarborough Guildwood, that voter fatigue has not come in to people, and they really get out there and they put an X next to conservative names. I hope Canadians all across, from coast to coast, forget about liberals wearing red and lining up in whatever. I don't care. Red is actually one of my favorite colors, red and purple. And I didn't vote for PPC and I didn't vote for liberal. But those are my colors from since I was a little girl, red and purple. I even had my hair in red, and my motorcycle is red, and one of my nicknames was Red because I just love red. I didn't vote for liberal. Maybe it's my birthstone July, it's ruby. I just love red, and I love purple. I'm not a PPC fan. I love those colors. Doesn't mean I go vote for them. So I really hope that people aren't being swayed by visualizations, and they go based on the truth and the fact. The fact is, and the truth is, everything that's coming out of Mark Carney's mouth, he's taken from Polivier's platform. This is all about a game to them, about winning. It's not about the winning for the people. It's about the party feeling like, oh, we won. And they're going to stick it to you again because they're on a climate agenda, a net zero agenda. The elites believing that they know better than the common people. He is the World Economic Forum voice. At the end of the day, this is about winning for them. It's not about winning for you. The common folks, us with common sense, we need Pierre Polivier to get us out of this mess that the liberals put us in. Trump did not destroy our economy. Trump is not our enemy. Justin Trudeau and Mark Carney are the ones who destroyed our economy. Trump did not destroy Canada. These two men did. Prime Minister, Prime Minister's advisor. And that is even on the Liberal website. Mark Carney was the financial advisor all this time, and that's part of his CV that he wants to talk about. So I'm not too sure how the financial advisor who was advising this man, who all this time took the advice from this man and gave us the Canada we have, where now we're blaming this man, Trump. And these are the two faces who has been behind the Canadian economy for the past 10 years. Trump just got into office, folks. These two men have been in operation for the past 10 years. Now, you can say he came in 2020, and this man decided to listen to him and listen to everybody from the WEF and everybody from these organizations. And even when everybody else around the world was opening up their economy and opening up their borders and opening up their country for business, this man decided to keep us locked down because he was addicted to the power of being a dictator, because he admires China's dictatorship style so much. He was so addicted to that power he couldn't let go until the mother of his godson stabbed him in the back and say, enough is enough. I want my son's godfather to lead the country, and him and I, hand in hand, we run this ship. Listen, Canada, please do not allow the farce to continue. I'm going to end it with this because Pierre just made another stop, and this was a couple hours ago. This was done 2 hours ago. And this is what inspired me to make this video now. Because once again, he said something that made me see the quality of this man. And it's going to go over people's head. And CPAC turned off the comments, so I couldn't make a comment. But I'm making it now because I'm sure it's went over people's head. This man made a comment coming down to the ending, and he spoke to his wife. And at the end of greeting everybody and going, he's like, and actually, you know what? Before I, let me not say it. Let me play it, and let me play it. Listen to what this man said. I tell you, things come out of this man's mouth that is so not like it's. I'm like, listen, this man is the real deal. He's a father. He's a dedicated husband. He loves his country. He wants the best for us. Listen to what this man said. I'm gonna play it back. Go and see CPAC. Watch the whole thing. It was really good. And he was making something. He was in the kitchen, and they're wrapping up and they're going. And he's just like, if this was a setup, and you're going to the last thing on. I was not expecting him to think. It could be something that he could remember when he's left, right? And he's back on the bus and on the campaign bus, and he's like, oh my God, where's the entire process? He didn't want to break the like, the flow of things. This man is a keeper. This man is so loyal to his integrity, his oath, and the things that symbolizes it. In the midst of everything, he's just like, okay, time to go. Yeah. But he's just like, so used to touching it and feeling it. And, maybe it's a sense of, just calm or just whatever. Some people, you put your ring or you what. And for him, having the ring on and then it's off, it's like, it reminds me exactly of that moment of his closing statement of the debate. Listen, this man, he ain't no Mark Carney where Epstein and Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein are Carney's cup of tea friends. I'm going to play it back because it's priceless.
There we go. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you here.
Thank you for bringing so much hope.
It's a privilege. We're going to fulfill that. Hope for a change.
Yes.
We got to vote for it. Anna, do you have my ring? Okay, good. Thank God. I had to take my ring off so I could make the naan bread. That would have been a real crisis.
Just need to get a quick photo over here.
Okay, great. Who's got a phone? Look, she's the star of the show.
Listen. Listen. When you see a husband who takes his rings off, keeps them off, and forget to put them on, watch that kind of husband. That's a red flag when you find out that, I take it off to go to the gym, and then you keep it off for the whole day and you're walking around and it's just like, This man took off his ring for a hot second, just for a quick second, do his thing, whatever. He's ready to go, and he's just like, you have it, right? Olivier, yo, you got my ex before, and it's just like, yo, listen, go vote for this man. This man is the real deal. This man is committed to, they say how you do one thing is how you do everything. Carney has already shown us how he does many things. He's going to do it again. Carney showed us how he sold Canadians out. He sold our jobs out. He avoids paying Canadian taxes. He finds all reasons to do shortcuts, to make deals that is never in the best interest of Canada. It's always about himself. This man put himself first. Then you look about the character of his decisions. And I hear people now talking about, Olivier and some of his ministers invested in Brookfield. I've invested in many companies, and then when I find things out, I'm like, take my money out. The point is they held, let's say that's the truth, and they held investments in Brookfield. As soon as they found out, they're like, yo, get that out of here. And a lot of these things are being dug up now because of the campaign. I have, you talk about investments. I have invested in many different things, many different peoples, many different penny stock companies and whatever. And it's like, you get out of them. Some for personal reasons and some for reasons that when you find out more, you're like, oh my gosh, this company participates in this company supports this company. Okay. You take it out. You pull your money out. There's no. The difference is Mark Carney is still there. Mark Carney still invested. Mark Carney did all of these things knowing that they're slimy. So I'm not taking any points away from someone who made investments, because again, portfolio, you see the investments, the grade and all that. And then when you find out more about what this company does, you remove yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Go and vote for Olivier. I just had to show you those two videos. This shows me this man's heart. This man is passionate about his aggression that people want to talk about. It's because of his passion. He's been upset about what's been happening, just like many people make comments about my yelling and my aggression and I'm mad. And I'm like, no, I'm just passionate and it comes off. In everything I do when I'm passionate, you get 110%. And a lot of people love that when it's for their benefit, because when I'm passionate to advocate for them and they get results, they love it when I'm passionate. But when that same passion kicks in to hold up a standard and they're on the opposite of the standard, then it's a problem. Funny. That's human. That's just human nature for you, right? But we don't change. And Polivier's passion and aggression and all of that is because the man cares deeply about what's been happening. And he's frustrated. And he doing his best to make you not get hoodwinked by the plagiarism of Mark Carney, who made calculated moves because it was quote unquote divisive issue and they were losing because of these. What are the things that is making Polivier go momentum? The carbon tax. Okay, all right. Okay, let's just suspend. Let's take that out of the equation. But he's not taking it out because it was a bad decision or it's in the best interest of Canadians. They're temporarily pausing it so it's nothing no more that they think we can talk about. It's all about winning for them. It's not about winning for you. So I truly hope for those people who haven't voted because they think, why bother? Please, this is one of the elections that it does bother. You should be bothered. It's very important. For no other reason, the fact that we have the freedom to vote, there's a point in time in many of our ancestors' lives that they did not have the right to vote and they fought for the right. So for no other reason, just to honor their sacrifice, this is why I say I always vote. I don't let the, why bother? And it's not going to matter. Yeah, it does matter because someone sacrificed a whole lot for me to have the ability to vote. First, those who sacrificed to make me and make my community be classified as human. And then my gender to be classified as valid. My people had two strikes against us, being melanated and being a woman. Some other people just had one strike, being a woman. My community, we had two barriers and two hurdles we had to overcome. For that reason alone is why I always vote. And even if there's nobody that represent my values, I vote independent. I put an X next to an independent candidate and my vote is not wasted. It goes behind someone's platform that I say yes to. In this case, Pierre got my vote because voting an independent, it is not in the best interest. This election is too much for it just to be a symbolic vote. My other votes was symbolism of the fact that I'm going to vote independent because you're not going to take away my voice. You're not going to take away my right. And I want to give other people the opportunity to vote independent. This is symbolic. Yes, it still is symbolic. And the fact that we do need to make sure that we get rid of the Liberal NDP because we do not want a Liberal majority and we don't want a Liberal minority that depends on the NDP. And also, as much as I like Blanchet, we don't want a Liberal party that depends on the bloc because the bloc is going to tell the Liberal, just give us what we want and we'll support you. And that's what Blanchet is. Blanchet is just like, listen, just, we will be a partner for anybody that puts Quebec's interests as what Quebec wants. So we need a majority conservative. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, get out there and vote. Advanced polls are up until I believe the 21st. 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. You got your voter card in the mail. If you threw it out, but you know you got it, it's okay. Just go with your ID. If you don't have your voter card, your name is already there on their list. Okay. If you have your voter card and your ID, you're good to go. If you don't have your voter card, take your ID. Your name is registered. It's on the list, right? They'll find you. So please go out there. Don't wait until the day of, because something always happens. Traffic, something's late. You got to stay overtime. Something happens. You have these days off. You have the long weekend. Please go out and vote conservative. It is imperative that we vote conservative, especially those strongholds that the liberal depend on, especially in the GTA and Toronto. Look at the quality of life that we all lived in. Please do not allow the liberals to be correct that you are gullible. They believe that they can just pull a fast one on you and you're going to just, like a snap of a finger, forget everything that Mark Carney's advice to Justin Trudeau and Chrystia Freeland resulted in your quality of life during the time that Carney was the advisor, which was for over 5 years. So much so that he was still on the Liberal Party's website saying he was a financial advisor. Polivia called it out in the English debate, so maybe they've changed it. But if you watch the English debate, he says it's there up until now. You might want to tell him to take it off their website. His CV, the UK Prime Minister, has come out speaking the fact that Mark Carney demolished and destroyed their economy. CV, Brookfields, sent Brookfields to New York as soon as Trump won, but now he's against Trump. Brookfields placed their investments offshore in Cayman Islands so they avoid paying the taxes that we have to pay here in Canada for investments. This man, his CV may be impressive, but his CV also helps you to follow the crumbs, follow the footprints of the results of his CV. They've never benefited or put Canadians first. It's always about the shareholders and the stakeholders. And he don't care who they are, including the fact that he advised the Liberal government not to build pipelines here, but he invested in pipelines being built in other countries where the carbon footprint, that he's so carbon footprint fanatic, he goes and invests in places where the carbon footprint is huge. They do not care about pollution. He invests there because, and is it really about pollution? No, it's about dollars for Carney. Because if your heart is about climate change, you would definitely feel nausea to invest your money in countries, in their pipeline industries, when you know that they're producing the pollution that you say you're so passionate about. No, it doesn't work that way. That's like someone who is against animal cruelty, saying they're not buying any, they're cruelty free, and they're telling everybody not to buy, their cruelty free products, but then they invest in companies that they fully know are experimenting on animals and using animal byproducts, but they invest their money in there, but then they up here in Canada and throwing, on companies and vandalizing companies because, PETA, but they're investing in companies that is cruel to animals. That's what I'm talking about. It doesn't make sense. So Carney doesn't care about the climate change. Stop the nonsense. They create things to go invest in things. They create a problem and then invest in the solution that they say is the solution to the problem, but there isn't a problem. Because if the climate change and he's really losing sleep over climate change, Mark Carney would not be investing in companies' pipelines in countries that the carbon print and the pollution is extremely catastrophic. He wouldn't do it. This man has no principles except the principle of making money for him and his investment company. And you benefit by investing in his company, but know that investing in his company, you're investing in a company that has no integrity. This is Lady O. Stay in action with faith and possibility. Walk in and protect your light. Your purpose will find you. Say what you mean and live like you mean what you say.